Well, hey there. How are you? uh, this is my kid's car. We have a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old, and they pitched in to buy this 2001 Ford Taurus that had been previously owned by a fire marshal chief, somebody or other. The man, I have a lot of good things to say about him. I didn't know him, but judging by the condition of the car, he didn't drive it much. Or he just, did the maintenance and did the things. It's got, 80,000 miles on it or something. 6-cylinder, front wheel drive. So, this episode is not going to be about this car, which, by the way, I have named Bland. So if you need to know the story of why I named this car Bland, just feast your eyes. Oh, you didn't see a car here? No? Well, if you squint, just tilt your head a little bit and squint, you'll make out the jelly bean shape of a very forgettable four-door sedan. See it? Right? Yeah, it's coming into focus now, isn't it? You would have missed it if I did not point out that there's a car sitting here, but there is. So I'm not just leaning on air, I'm leaning on a car. So it's a great car. It's exactly what kids need. One, if they wad it up, God forbid, the world will not cry. Just, as long as they're okay. The car is, they paid $3,700 for it. I'm the one that, found it for them and bought it, but it was their money. So I had something like this in mind for them. This just was perfect. It makes my heart happy to see them driving around because either A, they don't care about cars, and they just love, you remember your first car. It really didn't matter what it was. It represented freedom. It's not something that goes particularly fast, but it is, safe. It's got airbags in it, from 2000. So I don't know how safe they are. Anyway, they take this to school sometimes during the week and to work when they work. It was left home today, and I ran into town to go get something with it, and it had this horrible, developing and ever-increasing vibration. And I thought, I must have a flat tire. Then I got out. When I got to my place, I'm like, no, I don't have a flat tire. Maybe I have a wheel bearing going out. Well, when I get home, I'll just jack it up. I'll see what's up. I can't have them driving, it was pretty bad. So I pulled it in here and, here, just come over. Come over and look at this tire. I don't know if you can tell just by looking at it, but, I'm going to just say they shouldn't be driving on that. And on further inspection, the date on the tire says, 2010. That's what it says. The date was on the back of the tire when I bought the car. And the front ones, which are a different tire, these are like Firestone somethings. The front tires, which have been replaced, they're Cooper, GLS Tourings. and their date code was easily readable as 2017. You know, so they're 7 years old. They're, you know, it's time, but we're not panicking, right? Let's see if this car can last through the summer without being wrapped around another car, and not in a good way. But I am definitely going to have to replace tires on the back. So we're going to buy 2 tires. Well, they're going to buy 2 tires and learn what it is to own a vehicle. It's fun, and it does give you freedom, but it also hurts your wallet. So my personal contribution is going and getting new tires put on these wheels and mounting it back on the car and, you know, doing that work. So anyway, yeah, so we're not working on Bland today. We're still working on the Roadrunner, and we'll probably do some other work, whatever, we'll see. But I'm just going to kind of button this up real quick, and I'll run tomorrow and go get tires, but I'm actually putting the new ones on the front. I'm going to put these front ones on the rear. I'd like to put the new ones on the front on a front drive car, so it just makes sense to me. So yeah, so just hang out, go get yourself some coffee or donuts or whatever, you know, eggs, bacon, get some breakfast, whatever, relax. I'm gonna do this, and then you can come back and we'll work on the Roadrunner. Probably the bleeds and brakes and, you know, whatever we do, yeah, it'll be a surprise. Well, as you can see, or you couldn't see because you very conveniently were standing over here instead of over here, I disconnected and got the master cylinder out of the car, lying on my back under the dash in a very unnatural angle, ways that bodies were not meant to go. I just couldn't. I tried lifting the car up, reaching under, couldn't put, it just, there's no good way. You know, we try for the easy way and then discover there's no easy way. We just have to do it. So we did it, got it out of there. It was an exciting adventure into madness. And then, so now I've got the booster, and I've separated the master cylinder from it. not only for installation purposes, but because, I don't know if you can see this, but it's been sitting in a box, maybe in the trunk, maybe in a warehouse, I don't know, long time. A lot of scale rust on it. I can't put it in like that. You just can't do that. So I'm gonna do, as you know, what I like to do, and that is just spritz a little black paint on it. Not on the lid, not on the doohickey that actually has a name that I can't remember what the name is, because who cares? Hold down, don't paint that. Don't paint the boost, just stop with the paint, okay? You just paint this black, and then you put it together after it dries. So, any questions? No? Okay, I feel like we're on the same page here. So, I am going to get this taped. I got my tape, and I'm going to tape off so I don't get paint inside the lid. And actually, I'm going to take this over. Normally, I would just paint over this, but the scale rust is kind of heavy-ish. So I'm going to take it over to my sandblasting cabinet over there and kind of media blast this, being very, very careful not to get any media where it doesn't belong, you know, because that would clog the system and nobody wants that. So anyway, I'm going to do this, and then while we wait for this to dry, we will kind of mock this up, make sure there's no interferences, and I hope it just goes in. You know, it's made for this car, but you know, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But they're not, and we don't all. Okay. I better get to this before we devolve into just more useless sayings that don't really help the situation. So, yeah, back to it. Okay, so I have got this painted up. It's just drying, you know. We're not going to watch that because, well, it'd be like watching paint dry. So, old cars. This is the fun. That was verbal air quotes. The fun. But it is kind of fun. It's an adventure of working on old cars that a lot of people, well, I don't know the exact percentage. I just said a lot of people don't know, but maybe everybody knows. I don't know. Let's just say that some people don't know. It sucks being a literalist. I have to, I'm sorry. Let's just move on. The thing that some people don't know about old cars, owning them, working on them, is that there's no, like, I don't know, parts that fit. When I say that, yes, they make parts and they fit and all of that, but when you're working on new cars, for instance, you order a part from Ford for your several-year-old Ford, and it bolts up, fits, works, done, no problem. Old cars, not so much, because over the years, the manufacturer, in this case, Plymouth, they're not in business anymore. And the company that owned Plymouth isn't even owned by the same people anymore. They don't make parts for this car. Other people have taken up the torch and are making parts many times out of the manufacturer's molds. But, you know, it is what it is. So, I'm sorry. That was just long and unnecessary. All that to say, this is the current situation. So, we have the brake booster, right? By itself, sitting there. I've measured this out. It's from this surface to here. I have adjusted it to the same length as this surface to here. Easy peasy. However, if you look at this master cylinder, it's set up with a plate. Essentially, you know, it's a master cylinder with the hole for the shaft to go through. Well, that plate, as you can well see right here, covers up this opening very nicely. Well, oh, hang on. I have to stop because my wife showed up. Hang tight. Do I have any lipstick on me anywhere? No? Okay. What was I saying? I got distracted. Oh yeah, so the hole here is, you know, kind of oblongy. Well, the surface of this master cylinder is all very open. So basically you would have this shaft running through the firewall with this huge opening right here that would allow things like, I don't know, exhaust fumes, dirt, small rodents, whatever. Well, you don't want that. It has a boot on it, but the boot is meant for a circular hole. So what I've had to go and purchase online, so it's going to stall us out here, it's a mounting plate that they make for this, that this boot will fit because the mounting plate has a round hole in it. So it will cover up that large opening, make it just a round hole. I can seal it up, it'll be great. So again, we are stalled out on the master cylinder project. Don't panic, this happens all the time. So, moving on, this is the other thing that stalled us out on the transmission. Well, now I can finish the transmission. So that seal we talked about last week was leaking, just making a mess, not good for the clutch, not good for the transmission. So they make a new style for it now, and comes with a new seal, comes with a gasket, and we will be putting that on the transmission right here. So it will seal up the leaks. It will be a better unit that was on there before for the input shaft. And yeah, it'll just be better. So we're gonna get to work on this. I still haven't put these on, so maybe I'll do that too. We'll work on the transmission. It's gonna be several days. So again, this is just par for the course. But we can finish up the transmission, put it back in the car, bolt up the drive shaft, and get this thing sitting on its all four wheels again, which will be, actually I can't because I don't have the wheel nuts that I'm also waiting on. They're coming. I got an email, said they're on their way. So the reason why I just didn't go to the hardware store and get them is because they're specific to these wheels with the correct pitch, you know, and they will match what's on the car. So we don't want unmatching lugs with the wrong pitch on them. I mean, that's just, you know, all good things come to those who wait. So, okay then, let's get to work on this transmission. And I don't know, I already said this was going to be a short week, so I may not get to this until next week, or finish up the brakes until next week, unfortunately. But you might have seen another person in here walking around with me. That is a paint guy, and this customer wanted some light paint work done on some things, some little repairs done on his paint. So I've got a guy, and he stopped in today to take a look at the car and give his opinion, what he can do and all that. So that's what that was all about. Not that it's any of your business, but you know, you were here, so I just figure, you know, I don't want to be rude. Okay, all right, let's, you know, shift gears and get to work on that. So, funny story. Yeah, got the clips in the shifter, you know, mechanism to kind of tighten them up a little. They weren't bad, but this will take some of the slop out of them. Let's talk about, well, let's walk over here first. Sorry, I'm walking everywhere. Let's just walk over here. So this is the you know, input shaft for the transmission we talked about. It wasn't the rear main that was leaking. It was the seal that seals here on the retainer. So let's talk about that retainer a bit. This is the old one, and that's the seal we talked about that was leaking. It gets on the clutch, messes things up. Not great. So these, this is the portion of the bearing retainer that the throwout bearing slides on. Well, over time, these can become, you know, worn. They lose a little bit of their tolerance. So they make replacement ones made out of billet. And yeah, it recreates the newness of the tolerance. And of course it came with the seal to be pressed in. Well, you know, it was, you know, right around 5 in the evening, and I thought, well, let me just press this seal in, get this retainer back on the transmission so the next day I can slap it in the car. Well, it went in fine, looked great. Unfortunately, it looked backwards. And on further inspection, yes, I had pressed the seal in upside down. I should have waited till the next morning. Probably would have done it wrong the next morning too. But I like to tell myself I would have been fresh, wouldn't have been, you know, closing up shop, whatever. Anyway, so I'm in a mad scramble for a replacement seal. The place where I ordered that retainer, I ordered one this morning to have them next day it, but at the same time, I'm contacting, and I visited 2 Autopart stores, and they've got a couple coming, and I'll see if there's no number on the thing. So, and the number that I have from the people I bought this, whole thing from, it doesn't cross to anything. So anyway, that's the story. More delays. Can't be helped. It could have been helped, but now it can't be helped. So I'll wait for that seal to come in before I can button up this whole transmission thing. And obviously we're still waiting on brake parts. So I'm going to move on to something completely unrelated to the Roadrunner until those things come in. And we'll just do the best we can with what we have and move on from there. So that's all. It's a sad story. In fact, I'm feeling so bad about everything. If you could just, pick some good, music for this next time lapse, that would be great. Nothing slow and depressing though, because I think that'll just send me over the edge. So, yeah, see you on the flip side. Okay, so I actually lied because I am doing things that are related to the Roadrunner, even though. So if you remember, I don't know when I said it, I just have this vague memory of saying it, that I wasn't going to start the seals and all of the door stuff, taking that apart till I had transmission and front end and brakes all together. Well, I feel like Wile E. Coyote, holding up the sign, like whatever it says on the sign, in this case, oh no, or I give up, or whatever. Anyway, Roadrunner, is being a Roadrunner, and it's fighting me. Not fighting me. It just seems like every time I turn around, I'm having to, missing something, or having to order a little thing, or making a tiny little mistake, running off the edge of a cliff, getting hit by a train, getting blown up by Acme dynamite, whatever's happening. But, so, as I'm waiting on those things, I got to get moving on this project, Let's just put this in another gear. I have to go out of town tomorrow, and it's going to be an extra long weekend. Next week will be shorter-ish too because of that. And I gotta get this project moving along. So I started in on the doors. I've got this door seal in. It kind of wraps around here, but I'm waiting till I get the quarter window in. You can see the car was, I want to say orange, but you know, Plymouth I'm sure had like mango surprise or, you know, orangelicious or some other such color. Anyway, looks to be the original color of the car. So I got this out. This is the new rubber in it. The old rubber is down there on the ground. So I got that in. What I had to order, and I'm not finding it now, here it is there's a end cap piece that goes on here, which I'm not putting this back on there because, you know, that'd be dumb. I just didn't think to order it. I guess I thought it was part, whoops, camera guy, over there. I thought it was part of this, and it wasn't. So, got those ordered. They're coming for both sides. Got the window felts in here. So, I was just about to start reassembling it, but my paint guy called, and he's going to be able to get on this car early. So if you recall, Ella, yeah, we know jazz music. Okay. It's got some paint issues, you know. I don't know what happened. Moisture got up under there. It's doing that, and it's also wanting to start doing it right here. What else? There's a little spot on the hood. No idea how that happened. And I'm serious, I really don't know. I'm not just saying I don't know, like, yeah, I did that and I don't know how it happened. I bought the car that way. So, he wasn't gonna be able to get to it, but his schedule freed up. I'm leaving town tomorrow, so I gotta get this over to his house tonight. Loaded up on Betty over there. I guess you didn't know. The trailer has a name too, Black Betty, you know, the song, Bam-a-lam. Yep, that's the trailer's name. So we'll get Ella flipped around, loaded up, and it'll be a little bit later of a night, but I gotta do it. Gotta get it over to him. That way at least the paint will be done. I'll bring it back to the house here when I get back, or whatever, however long it takes him to do. And then we'll worry about the engine then. So, as far as the Roadrunner goes, that's it for this week. And next week we'll pick up right where we left off. Is that something you're supposed to say? Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of putting new rubber in windows. It'll just be amazing. So, and then of course all the parts should come in next week for finishing up the transmission and brakes and all that stuff. So we're rocking and rolling. If all goes well, I can finish this car next week and move it down the road, so to speak. But we'll see, you know. You can't rush good work. It just happens at this rate it happens, so. All right, well, I'm gonna get busy loading Ella up here and kind of getting things ready for not being here. So you're welcome to hang out if you want while I do that. I don't blame you if you have better things to do, but I got beer in the fridge, you know, I got comfortable leather chairs. It's up to you. Decision's easy for me, but you know, it's up to you. All right, Ella, let's get you loaded. Hey there. Well, lights on. Remember those clap on, clap off lights? Okay. Now you can just say, Alexa, lights on. But, you know, I don't have Alexa, so. Oh, it is a rainy morning. Excuse me, my nose itches. I just came in the shop this morning just to kind of neaten up and get ready before I have to head out of town. Just figure, you know, we'd have some coffee together and kind of talk about the week for about 30 seconds. It was a good week for me. I just felt like I was like swimming in molasses, you know? The more progress that I was trying to make, the more things were fighting me. So some weeks are that way, you know? Some weeks you get to the end and you're like a rock star in your own mind. But that's all that matters, as long as it's in your own mind. Oh, yeah. So next week we'll hopefully button up the Roadrunner. I've got to get back on Mr.E here to do something that I've been putting off, and that's adjusting the headers so that they fit. So that'll be fun. A lot of, you know, gently persuading with a persuading tool, you know. But we'll get it fit. So the Ella, she's getting her paint fixed, so I'm excited about that. And it's a rainy morning, but that's okay because I'm really not working today. So anyway, last night though, before the rain came, my wife and I took Mr. F, or what I have of him, out on his first shakedown run, just on the road in front of our house. Open headers, you know. And I will tell you, I was pleased. I was pleased with not just the horsepower. It actually reminded me of a motorcycle, is what it reminded me of. The sounds and feels. Really, that's the experience of it. Of course, it was all open, you know. My wife just loved it. We both had our earmuffs on, you know. But I was actually very happy with my kind of home-brewed alignment. I just did, you know, I spent 30 minutes and just tried to get it as close as I could. I'll still get it professionally done, but it ran up and down the road straight. It didn't pull one way or the other. I was able to get hard on the throttle, and it just went where you pointed it. So very, very, very pleased. And I had her take some video of it while we were riding. So we'll close out this amazing week with, you know, you can take a ride with me in Mr. F. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So appreciate you hanging out, and maybe we'll see you next week. I hope so, because I got a lot to do and I could use some help. All right, well, enjoy.